Hope you guys are fine. We are into the Carabao Cup game that Arsenal is going to be playing tomorrow, up against a side known as Crystal Palace, a side that is most known for being boggy. And when it comes to it facing the big sides, it has gone ahead to cause havoc and mayhem to these sides. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun. Second video of the day, yet to be uploaded after its recording here onto the Rokani Media Football Studios. So, smash the like button close to 200 times. Don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I love you guys, and thank you for really dedicating your time to watching my videos, subscribing, and obviously sharing your videos across all platforms where you are: TikTok, Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. You understand? So I just can't pay you back as you want, but the reciprocation I can get to you is only recording videos and obviously updating you on a daily, right? So, big one. I've already told you that Arsenal never played this game against Crystal Palace last week on Tuesday because Crystal Palace couldn't play 5 games in a space of 7 days. Science commands that a team should play 2 games per week. You understand? And there is no way you can add a 3rd game per week. So Arsenal was one of those teams that came in through and obviously rested for a full week. And over the weekend, they went ahead to beat a team known as Everton by 1-0. Right? And they rested in there for a full week. And there came Crystal Palace. Also, over the weekend, they went ahead to lose. You know? Did they lose or they beat? Let me check here. Looks like they beat Leeds United. Let me check here. Let me check. Crystal Palace was beaten by Leeds 4-1. And you might be asking yourself why Palace was humiliated or annihilated to that level. I have the reason. I'm obviously going to be getting you the reason as to why it's happening like that after you know the number of injuries they're really facing and the players they've lost to the AFCON sides in there. Now, we go to what we call the head-to-head facts. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. In this tournament, they've all scored 4 goals. That is it. They've gone ahead to score 4 goals in this competition. And Arsenal has 14 shots with 9 shots on target and 5 shots off target with 13 shots blocked. Crystal Palace has 24 shots, 15 shots, has 24 shots, sorry about it. Crystal Palace has 24 shots, 15 shots on target, 9 off target, 9 shots blocked. Arsenal having a passing accuracy in this competition of 88.49%. Crystal Palace are having a passing accuracy of 82.5% in there for you. Then Arsenal over the weekend beat Everton away from home by 1-0. It was scored by Victor Gyökeres. It was a penalty. Then Crystal Palace came in through and annihilated a team known as Crystal Palace by 4-1. You understand? If you've been following up on a team known as Leeds against Liverpool, they drew. City, it ended 3-2. City left it late. You are not shocked that they went ahead and obviously beat a team known as Crystal Palace by those number of goals. Now, in all competitions, Arsenal has played 52 games against Crystal Palace. Arsenal has won 32. Crystal Palace has won 5. And they've gone ahead to register 5 draws. So, that is Crystal Palace for you. Now, in the previous 3 meetings, in all competitions, Arsenal on the 26th of October 2025, this season went ahead to beat Crystal Palace by 1-0. It was scored by their former player known as Ebelechi Eze, whom they sold to Arsenal for £68 million. Arsenal drew 2-2 with Crystal Palace last season, 23rd April, and on the 21st of December last season, 2024, Arsenal went ahead to obviously beat a team known as Crystal Palace at the Selhurst Park by 5-1. So that was really bad for the side of Palace, and they are really given a dosage that I don't think that they would obviously want to see that happen to them. We get to the team news. For the club of Arsenal, the following players are obviously not available. First and foremost, Max Dorman is having an ankle injury. Would have gone ahead to be a candidate to play in this tournament. Gabriel Magalhaes is having a thigh injury. Kai Havertz is having an injury. Christian Mosquera is having an ankle injury. And Ben White is having a hamstring injury. Those are the players that are really out. Max Dorman 1, Gabriel Magalhaes 2, Kai Havertz 3, Christian Mosquera 4, and Ben White 5. Arsenal is having 5 injuries of players that are not obviously going to come up and really represent in this particular game of football. Now, we go to the side of Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are really having Ismail Yassar. Obviously, he is representing Senegal in the African Cup of Nations. He's away. Then right back, Daniel Munoz is having what we call an injury. He's out. And then Kamada, who has been a midfield fulcrum for the side of Crystal Palace, is out with what we call a thigh injury. Rio Cardines is having a muscle injury. Cheick Dokore is having an injury. Caleb Poha is having a back injury. Chadi Reid is having an injury. And even Mateta is also nursing what we call an injury, meaning that Mateta, Chadi Reid, Caleb Poha, Cheick Dokore, Rio Cardines, Ismail Yassar, Daniel Munoz, Fulcrum Dayachi Kamada. How many injuries are those? Those are 8 injuries. 8 players are injured. And if you're having 8 players injured and you lose to a team known as Leeds, I think it's obviously not going to be an easy game for them when they're really paying a visit to a side known as Arsenal. I tell you, Arsenal is a very hard team to face because we are obviously going to be looking at the probable starting 11 that Arsenal is going to flaunt into this game of football, and it's obviously going to be their second string side that they're obviously going to flaunt. You understand? If they are flaunting their second string side, it will mean that Arsenal are really going to be facing a second string side almost of Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace, we all know how good they've gone ahead to be. Last season, they went ahead to win the FA Cup final by beating Man City. And then Carabao Cup this season, they went ahead to beat a side known as Liverpool. 2-1, and they lifted it. So, let's get into the probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. You understand? You're the members of this channel, so please continue to subscribe. And this is how things obviously going to pan out, and we expect Mikel Arteta to make some huge changes to rest these players. And this game comes in a time when Arsenal can rest players, and for 2 consecutive weeks, Arsenal might see some players rest for 7 days, and those will be 14 days of these players recharging their batteries as they really come into a big marathon of games that they are supposed to see them hosting big teams at the Emirates. The system is going to be 4-3-3, and in goal, Raya is going to be rested. Kepa Arrizabalaga is going to be in with the Stitch Haze, and he's going to be putting out a very huge shift because we all know what he can obviously put out as a player. We all know what he's good at. He's a proven goalkeeper, and Arsenal having him as an understudy of David Raya is a blessing because it's very hard to find a team with 2 quality goalkeepers, and Kepa Arrizabalaga, even if David Raya is away, Kepa Arrizabalaga will do the job 100%, assure you that he will obviously come up and obviously get the job done and dusted. So, right back, I'm like, he might not risk a lot. He might say, Julian Timber coming through and obviously play there, But with the injuries that Palace are really having, there is a boy of Arsenal called Nicholas, Nicholas made a debut in this particular competition last season. That is it. And he might find himself representing to the fullest in this beautiful game of football. You understand? So, he's a right back. But the big question is, the other boy is called who? The other 16-year-old that really made his debut when playing against Club Brugge. So, I think Arsenal has to start looking at the academy and see which right back can come in through and obviously start to really man into this team. Because in the coming times, they might obviously need to rest Julian Timber. And I think it started with the game of Club Brugge. He got rested. Then they came and played over the weekend. And he was rested for 7 days. And he comes again, not to see him being played a lot. And it will depend on the manager. You understand? Whether he plays him like 45 minutes or 60 and gets in Nicholas or the other boy. I've forgotten the name of the boy. Is it Salmon? Left back. Riccardo Carafiori started and really played very well against a team known as Everton. But I think Lewis Kelly comes in through to represent as the left back for a side called Arsenal. Now, let's go to the central defense. Obviously, left-sided centre-back, I see Hincapi, but we might see the manager saying, Hincapi, you've started in the previous 8 games of Arsenal and we've been playing 90 minutes. The manager might say, Riccardo Carafiori, can you come up and obviously see yourself into the left-sided centre-back and see this guy Hincapi get rested? All else, the manager will be like, let me keep Hincapi and Saliba together such that they bond a lot and complement each other very well and build another Berlin Wall in that central defense of Arsenal. Right-sided centre-back, William Saliba. That is it. I see him coming in through and obviously starting this game. And the manager has to keep this squad balanced and strong because all what you need to know is that he needs to win trophies. And one of the fastest trophies that he can win is this one. Is this one. And how can he win it? By obviously balancing up and obviously knocking out Crystal Palace. As we all know, if Arsenal knocks out Crystal Palace, they are going to be facing a team known as Chelsea home and away. And Newcastle is facing Man City. In what we call... Newcastle is facing Man City in what we call the... What is it? In what we call the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. And I see Newcastle knocking out Man City, by the way. I'm telling you the truth. I see Newcastle knocking out Man City. We go to the CDM. Christian Nogard. There are people I don't agree with that Nogard is not a press-resistant player. I think Zubimendi is just super good that you cannot live without him in your team, And they're like, the manager should balance up minutes. And I'm like, I'm going to hate to see players play 3-4 consecutive seasons, And Nogard is having another chance to prove himself, So, against Crystal Palace, one of the stubbornest side in the Premier League, obviously, he will do the needful and put out a very huge shift altogether. Then we'll be having a Mikel Merino coming in through to play as a box-to-box midfielder. That is it. And I see a Belechi Eze, a Belechi Eze to start as a number 10, or Ethan Waneri. You get? Waneri has really taken edges without starting a game of football. And I think this might be the perfect time for him to come in through and really start in this one. If at all he starts, maybe Eze will play off the left at the left side of the attack. Now, right forward, Noni Madueke not getting any minutes in the previous 2 games in the Premier League for Arsenal. I see him starting in there. Starting as a right forward for the club of Arsenal. And then the left forward, I see Gabriel Martinelli coming in through. And if at all Waneri starts in that number 10 position, I see him benched. I see him 100% benched. And Eze will start as a left forward. Leading the line, obviously, Gabriel Jesus will come in through and obviously start his first game for the club of Arsenal. That is really competitive. Now, that is my probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. Now, how many players would Arsenal have gone ahead to rest if at all the manager brings out that lineup? Raya will be rested. Ricardo Carafiori will be rested. Zubimendi will be rested. Rice will be rested. Odegaard will be rested. Saka will be rested. Trossard will be rested. And Victor Gyökeres will too be rested. And how many are those? Those are 8 players. Meaning that over the weekend, Arsenal will obviously be playing a very fat game. And who will they be playing? Arsenal will be playing Brighton at the Emirates, meaning that they would have gone ahead to charge their batteries very well for this particular fixture. As for the club of Arsenal in there. So guys, thank you very much for watching in through. Rokani David is my name, and that is my probable starting 11 for the club of Arsenal. Tell me your additions. Tell me your subtractions from this probable 11 that I've gone ahead to flaunt in here, and I'll be eagerly waiting to see your comments into the comment section below. We get to what we call the Crystal Palace probable starting 11. You know, they play a 3-5-2-1. Benitez in goal, Richards, Gehi, and Camvot. You know, that is the back 3. Then Klein, Lema, Wathon, Sosa. You know, that will be the mid 4. Then Pino and Liveni will play as the 2 number 10s. And Uche will come in through to lead the line for the side of Crystal Palace. And that is how Arsenal will that's how this team will obviously line up. Now, we go to the moment that most of you are really eagerly waiting for to hear from me what I'm going to say about it. Now, let me be factual. Arsenal has 2 legs into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. When you look at the second string side of Crystal Palace, I think it's really weak, because if you look at that 11 I've gone ahead to put out, even if Crystal Palace brings its starting 11, you know, they cannot beat Arsenal at the Emirates with that starting 11. Even away at Selhurst Park, they might find it hard to obviously get points off Arsenal. So I see an Arsenal win of 2-0. 2-0 for the club of Arsenal. That's the win I'm really seeing. I don't know whether I'm also seeing this win, but for my side, I'm seeing this win coming in through. You know? So, we wait to see how this pans out, but that is my prediction. Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 0. Now, with all this done and dusted, Arsenal will obviously see themselves go through all this, and they will need to get themselves ready for the upcoming games. And if they go through, they would have gone ahead to obviously find themselves in a position of preparing to playing against a team known as Chelsea home and away, you know, with players of fresh legs. So that's what I had for you in here. Your predictions are welcome in the comment section below. Continue to subscribe to this channel, and you let me know what your thoughts are about the Rokani Media Football and whether we are really delivering as you guys expect from us. From my entire team that I work with on this channel, we say good night to those watching in through. The AFCON games have continued. Yesterday, Morocco beat Comoros by 2-0. El Kabi goal, still a talk about. South Africa is leading Angola by 2-1. They are in the 90th minute. Egypt versus Zimbabwe coming next. And Mali drew 1-1 with Zambia in the game that will open up today. Tomorrow we are having close to 4 games, and my country, Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, is playing Tunisia. I'm out.